So hi everyone, welcome to this month's Sage Integrative Health Q&A session. Today I'm here with Rachel Alvarado, who is our nutritionist and weight loss coach, and I'm gonna just do a little spotlight here. And yeah, so we're gonna do a double double spotlight and just take some questions. But for those of you who are newer to Sage Integrative Health, we are a full functional medicine, functional nutrition practice. We were founded in Philadelphia. I'm the owner and founder of the Sage Integrative Health practice, but we have patients all over the country now. We are available virtually. So those who are not local to the area will definitely have the opportunity to jump on a Zoom session with our team. So without further ado, we will get started. And Rachel, do you want to tell a little bit about, for those of you who are just meeting you, tell a little bit about your backgrounds?
Yeah, so I'm a nutritionist and I went to MUIH, got my master's in integrative health. And then I ended up just really specializing in weight loss. I have my own history with weight loss. I had a really unhealthy relationship with food most of my life, and finally learned how to take baby steps to heal my relationship with food and then lose weight. I lost over 40 pounds and have kept it off for now 17 years. So, a long time. And even though it was only 40 pounds, sometimes I work with people who want to lose 20 pounds. Sometimes I work with people who want to lose 120 pounds. But the same principles often apply. And so it's definitely something I've been really fascinated with because, I believe so firmly that we want to feel good in our bodies so we can enjoy our lives. And I want everyone to enjoy their lives the most fully as they can. So that's why I do this.
Excellent, great. And one of the things, we added a weight loss program a year ago. Rachel and I were just commenting on this when we met last week. We're like, oh my God, it's been a year. I can't believe it. And we have had a couple of cohorts of patients go through our program already and just been getting astounding results. It's just, and not just with the weight loss, but with their life and just feeling happier and more engaged in their life, and their nutrition's better. They have more energy. And the extra bonus, which is the added weight, came off. So we're really excited about that. Not to mention the fact that we incorporate in our clinic, we do something very unusual, which is we incorporate weight loss component of the coaching and nutrition with the functional medicine, functional nutrition side. So we, on the functional medicine side, there's three of us that are doctors of clinical nutrition, and we really dive deep into all of our patients' health to make sure that there aren't any underlying issues that are contributing to weight gain or making it difficult to lose weight. So we want to address all of those underlying imbalances, get them on the right meal plans. Rachel's excellent at helping identify things that, people can swap out, and improve their habits around eating. So this is something at Sage that we really, really focus on as a clinic is that integrated approach. We can't just say it's just weight loss here without addressing the fact there might be a thyroid issue or a hormonal imbalance in the mix. So these are some really critical areas when we're addressing weight loss as a whole within the body. So Tomlin's always good for the questions to get us started off. And so this one, I know, Tomlin, you've heard me say this before. Why should you only drink a little bit of kombucha? So I'll take this one just because I know it's one of the soapboxes that I stand on often when I'm giving classes. So this is a good question because kombucha is it's a fermented drink. It's a probiotic. And when we are using kombucha, we want to look at it as like a medicine. I like to use kombucha in a therapeutic sense to say, okay, take your dose of kombucha, maybe a couple of ounces, drink a small amount, because people that come to us that have imbalances in their microbiome, they have SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. They're experiencing gas and bloating. A lot of times kombucha is like pouring fuel on the fire. And so it can actually exacerbate symptoms. So we want to just, first of all, make sure that that's not an issue. And then a daily dose of fermented drinks and foods is great once your microbiome is more balanced because it helps to maintain that healthy flora. But it's small. A lot of times people buy a big thing of kombucha and it's sweet, it's bubbly, and they're like, oh, it's a substitute for soda. And they just kind of take back the whole thing. And it's like, that's a little much, a little bit more than the body can deal with when you have all that raw bacteria coming in at one time. So I usually say a couple of ounces is a good, kind of a good jumping off point. So excellent questions. And so Rachel, I'm going to kick this one over to you. Can a person with sleep apnea lose weight?
Absolutely. In fact, losing weight oftentimes helps people with sleep apnea. So, sleep apnea will not have, okay, it could potentially interfere with weight loss to a degree. It could make it a little bit harder if you're not getting a good night's sleep, because getting good night's sleep helps us in every way possible, including losing weight. But you can still lose weight even if you have not ideal sleep. Um, I have lost weight with newborns. So it is possible. Trust me, you're not getting great night's sleep with a newborn. Now, with sleep apnea, if you do have sleep apnea, of course, get it treated. Do what you need to do, work with your doctor so that you are getting good night's sleep. And that will help you lose weight, getting good night's sleep, but it's going to help you in every sort of body function, getting good therapeutic sleep. But 100% you can lose weight even if you have sleep apnea or any sort of sleep disturbance.
Yeah, I'll double down on that with the sleep apnea because so often there is a weight component.
Mhm.
It's a situation where oftentimes people that are not everyone, but a lot of times there is the situation where someone needs to lose a little bit of weight to help reduce the symptoms of sleep apnea. So not only can someone lose weight with sleep apnea, it's actually oftentimes even on the Western medical side, it's part of the recommendation to help control sleep apnea. So 100%, although sleep disorders, we know with the cortisol thing, sleep disorders can make sleep weight loss a little more challenging when you have the cortisol imbalances that can often come in with sleep disorders. You might be then fighting an uphill battle. So if it's not sleep apnea, maybe insomnia, got to get you some good sleep. And there's herbs that can take care of that for sure. And depending on what the issue is with the sleep imbalance, there's different interventions that match up with different types of sleep imbalances. So good question. Great.
And just to add a little bit more to that, so that's all really good. But one of the big things too, I hear when people start losing weight, um, they sleep better too. So it all goes hand in hand. So definitely improving how you're eating and losing weight also helps sleep better, which is one of the things I hear all the time. And I love it when people are telling me that they sleep better because who doesn't like to sleep better?
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's a great question. Raw chocolate, good for you. Do you mean like 100% dark chocolate or like raw chocolate? Yes, like 100% chocolate. Okay. Um, yeah, I'm a big fan. I mean, and actually I learned something very fun about dark chocolate is that it stimulates the endocannabinoid system in the body, the natural endocannabinoid system in the body. So it actually has a calming and soothing effect on the nervous system. So the darker the chocolate, the better. So we would highly recommend if you like dark chocolate. I'm a 90% or higher person. I love my 90% dark chocolate. It to me is that bitter taste, but it also just makes me feel good. Just a couple little squares, and when I found out that it does stimulate the endocannabinoid system, I was like, oh, that explains it. So yeah, I mean, with weight loss, yeah, you just have to be careful with the fats in dark chocolate. You don't want to eat a whole bar in one sitting.
No, no. And that's the thing, when it comes to weight loss, people think, oh my gosh, am I never going to be able to have like chocolate again? Of course you can have chocolate. I'm never going to tell anyone you can't ever have anything ever again. That's just not realistic. And so I think a good weight loss program is going to be something that can set up these healthy boundaries, so that you can, live in the real world and enjoy things, but not to excess, or finding the right balance for you. And I mean, I also love dark chocolate, and I do raw cacao all the time. I have several healthy smoothies and some really healthy desserts that I always recommend to clients that use raw cacao. And so it's about satisfying, that sweet tooth in a healthy way, which can, make you satisfied and happy, and then, also lose weight and get to your goals. And, you know, it's not mutually exclusive. Enjoying your food, enjoying treats, and weight loss, they can go hand in hand.
Absolutely. And for those of you who just joined in, feel free to post any questions you have in the chat. This is an open Q&A, so we welcome everyone to chime in with any questions you have over the next 15 minutes or so. There's actually a question that Rachel, you and I have batted around once or twice before, and I want to just get some discussion going on this. And this is, if someone comes to us and they're already eating like a pretty decent diet, you look at and you're like, that's a pretty good diet. That's good, balance of nutrients and clean, and they still need to lose weight, or they come in with the goal of losing weight. They want to lose weight. How do we handle this? This is not easy, because a lot of times we're saying weight loss is in the kitchen, weight loss is a food situation. But if someone comes in and they're like, look, I'm eating really well, how do I lose weight if I'm already eating all these really delicious, healthy foods?
Yeah, great question. That definitely comes up from time to time. And you could still be eating too much. Like, just because you're eating healthy foods doesn't mean you're eating the right quantity of those foods. So sometimes we need to scale back a little bit. And then sometimes too, people get really stuck in their mind that they can snack on like nuts and seeds all day long. Yes, nuts and seeds have great benefits and they can be really healthy, but they should be in like small portions or included with, your meal. So absolutely, you can be eating really well, but we might need to recalibrate how much you're eating, so that you can lose weight and be in a, calorie deficit. And then also not eating all the time, because I've talked about this before. I'll try not to go into too much detail about this, but anytime we eat anything, our body responds by increasing insulin. And so if we're constantly eating even healthy foods throughout the day, our insulin levels are always being elevated throughout the day. The thing is, in order to lose weight, our insulin levels need to come down. And it is when our insulin levels come down that that's what triggers our body to use our stored energy, which is going to be glycogen and then fat. So in order for our body to tap in and use our fat stores, which is weight loss, we have to have periods throughout the day where we're just not eating. And I know that sounds so simple, but in our modern day and age, it is so common for us to constantly be eating every hour, every 2 hours, or something like that, which means we're never giving our body a break so we can tap in to that stored energy and use that. So
Yeah.
overdoing calories, and then also just having times we're not eating, which will also reduce your calories, but will also just give you, sometimes we don't have to reduce calories that much. We just need breaks in between our meals as well.
Yeah, it makes me think of like the maintenance diet, right? When you've hit
Mhm.
your goal weight, you want to go on a maintenance diet. And sometimes we're unknowingly eating a maintenance diet,
Mhm.
healthy, albeit, but a maintenance diet in an effort to lose weight. And so, no matter how healthy the foods are on our plate, if we're still having the same level of intake,
Mhm.
we're not going to lose the weight. There is some very basic, calculations around just having a little bit of calorie restriction that is just required, for weight loss. And some people might just need to clean their diet up, and that's enough, because getting those healthy foods in there. But if someone's eating really well, I can tell my own personal weight loss journey. Last year, I broke my ankle, and put a few pounds on, and I was just like, "Oh, I'm not getting those pounds off." I'm older now, and it just wasn't they weren't coming off. And then Rachel and I were chatting about the weight loss program, and a light bulb went on. I started tracking my food intake, and I'm like, "I'm on a maintenance diet." I stopped exercising because had a broken ankle and then put weight on, but that I didn't my food intake didn't change. So then I was maintaining that new weight level with the lesser exercise. And even when I started to exercise more, I was getting hungrier. So I was, still maintaining. So it took me, a little bit to recalibrate my body and also my intake to get myself to lose the weight that I wanted to lose from that injury, which happens, right? Life happens. We might injure ourselves, unfortunately, or we might go through a difficult time. There might be a family, a loss in the family, or caring for someone in the family, or all kinds of things can happen that can derail us
Mhm.
in our health journey. And sometimes when we get the space after we've been able to recover a little bit from that time, we have to recalibrate ourselves a little bit. And this is something that another person like a coach can help you do. So Erica had said makes me think about how sometimes water is needed, how much water is needed instead of food.
That's great. Yes, absolutely. Sometimes we're so prone to just like eat food, but yeah, sometimes we just drink some water. Or even you can switch to some people are like, I just want to drink water all day. It's so boring. You could do an herbal tea with nothing in it too. Sometimes I do sparkling water and just a little bit of vinegar, flavored like balsamic vinegar. I think it tastes so good. Some people think it's weird, but try it out. It's fabulous. And that works too. It just absolutely. We don't always have to turn to food, and it's okay if we're not eating all the time, which I feel like a lot of times people get this block, and it's good to get hungry. That's another thing I see so common is that we're overeating a lot of times in general, and we're eating so frequently that people don't really allow themselves to get really hungry before a meal. And when you get hungry before a meal, you don't have to be starving or anything, but when you get hungry before a meal, you enjoy that meal so much more. So it's also a way to just add a little more joy because you appreciate your food and enjoy it that much deeper.
Yeah, absolutely. So, now it actually, well, I'm going to jump to Tomlin. I'm going to come back up to PS's question, but Tomlin said even healthy foods that we enjoy, we can only eat in limited amounts. It's energy. All food is energy. It's really just that, right? Rachel, I don't know if you want to add to that, but
No, that it's true. We just can't we do have to have limits on what we eat. Our body only needs so much. And also overeating, not just a weight concern, but longevity. All of these longevity researchers are realizing that a diet that has moderate caloric restriction prolongs your life because the whole metabolic process creates oxidative stress. During when you're metabolizing, reactive oxygen species are created. And then, so we want to eat antioxidant rich foods to offset that, but it still, creates this oxidative stress. And so, yeah, overeating calories is not good for us for weight or for longevity purposes. If you're really into longevity, which I've been geeking out about lately, I think it's fascinating.
nothing
Um,
like a little biohacking conversation.
yeah, but it's just, yeah, you do have to limit yourself. Um, but that's okay. We can
Okay.
still enjoy our foods, and then we find that we're able to enjoy them more because again, we allow ourselves to get hungry, we then have a deeper appreciation for our food. And then also too, when we get rid of these ultra processed foods, um, that allows us to tune in to our body and really listen to our body's needs. So there can be shifting away from these ultra processed foods, which we do want to shift away from, not just for weight purposes, but for all purposes, really. And that really helps it become so much easier to listen to our bodies and our body's needs and not overeat.
Yeah, absolutely. So PS had a question of anything special to do to lose belly fat specifically. Is belly fat a concern?
Yeah, belly fat is a concern because it typically means you have more visceral fat, which means that there's more fat around your organs. And so that's the fat that we are more concerned about than just like
Like the
subcutaneous
pear
fat.
shape versus the apple
Yeah,
shape, right?
yeah. So it is because of how it coats your organs. And so, is there anything special to do for that versus other weight loss? No. It really all comes down to the same principles. Weight loss is going to be weight loss. Of course, we always want to do weight loss in a healthy way, no matter how you're losing weight and setting up lasting, habits. Because that's the thing. We don't want to just lose weight for you to lose weight for 3 months and then gain it all back. That will not serve you. In fact, that can be worse for you because when you lose weight, you're always going to be losing fat and a little bit of muscle. Unfortunately, that's always how it is. So when you then gain weight back, that's just fat, not muscle as well, generally. So it is really important that when you lose weight, you develop these lasting habits so that you can maintain that weight loss.
One of the things too, there's been a lot of evidence suggesting that belly fat, it can be cortisol hormone related. So for women, sometimes it's an estrogen situation. Low estrogen can contribute to midriff weight gain. Elevated cortisol can contribute to that midriff weight gain. So on the functional medicine side, I'm going to be also wanting to analyze to see, is there an elevated cortisol situation either currently or in the past that may have contributed to this weight gain? Is there an estrogen imbalance that's contributing to this weight gain as well? So we do the same things on the weight loss side. We want to still moderate, get the right foods in there. And then also we want to look at those stress factors because we know that there a lot of belly fat that comes on is hormonal. And so if we don't start addressing some of those hormonal imbalances too, we might be repeating that pattern and it might be difficult for that weight to come off. So we want to try and do things to bring the stress levels down, go for a walk. I was actually just in a session with a patient yesterday and we were talking a lot. She had expressed that she had gained some weight around the belly. And in the last few years, her job's really stressful. So we talked about going outside between meetings for just 5 minutes and taking a breath of fresh air, going for a walk at the end of the day, doing tapping, deep breathing exercises, things like that that can bring our levels down. There's even some herbs like passion flower, or maybe a cup of sipping some chamomile tea can really help lower those stress levels for us to bring that cortisol down more quickly as opposed to keeping it up all day, which we don't want. We want a nice healthy cortisol curve. We don't want to see cortisol up and then just keeping us up at night,
Mhm.
causing sleep disturbances like we had mentioned before. So so as Rachel said, yes, belly fat is a concern because of that visceral fat around the organs. And it's also could be indicative of a hormonal imbalance too. So we want to address these things.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Um, yeah. So,
Absolutely. And to jump off that just a little bit more, that was really great. The thing is, too, like when you are having hormonal changes as you get older as women, a lot of times older women will struggle with weight loss. And so I hear this a lot. They're like, can I lose weight? Because I'm, menopausal or postmenopausal. So I don't think that's a possibility for me. Yes, you can still lose weight. Is it going to be as fast as when you were in high school or if you were a male? No. I'm sorry, it won't be, but you absolutely still can get there. So I just
yeah.
wanted to, let people know that you don't have to think, oh, not for me. It won't happen for me. It can happen for you.
At literally at any age. I mean, I've worked with people even just in the interventions over the years and the interventions that we were doing to help bring balance to their body and to their digestion even. They were, in their 70s and dropped 10 pounds because, they were cleaning up their diet. They were improving their digestive health. So any age it can happen. It's just, it's not getting that block in front of us to say, oh, this is it. I'm
Yeah.
just kind of signed on for this. I'm done throwing the towel. Um, so, and Tomlin, to answer your question about why belly fat around the organs is bad, well, it's because we don't want those things putting pressure on the organs, infiltrating the organs. Sometimes there's even lipomas that can occur uh, inside of, the intestines, inside of the organs that can be really dangerous. They're not tumors, they're not cancerous, but they're still blocking. They can create blockages. So we just want to be really careful about that visceral fat in the abdominal area around the organs, because we don't want anything putting extra weight, pressure, adding that inflammation. Rachel and I were talking about this last week about the activity. Certain adipose tissue is very metabolically active and can be very inflammatory. So we have to be aware of that.
And, because we think we get this in our minds. When I was younger too, I thought, oh, fat's just extra tissue and it does nothing. No, it is like Dr. Romick just said, it is active and, taking part in our whole body chemistry, and often not in a positive way. It's usually quite negative, the damages that it can do.
Yeah, it is quite inflammatory. So we just want to be very careful about that. If this is, a lot of people think that it's like more of a like a body image. And so maybe people have that and come to us with that, but we're looking at it very much from a health perspective too. So we want to look at the whole picture around it, and look at the studies and look at the research around potential disease sets that can stem from that. So this is just something else to consider. So it looks like we're just about up on time. So I want to just wrap it up. Oh, one more thing here. Do you think anything in the practice of drinking raw ginger and hot water first thing in the morning? I heard it's good for digestion. I think that ginger can be great, in small amounts, if it's the right thing for you. So, yes, ginger is a good what's called a prokinetic, meaning that it helps move digestion. It helps stimulate digestion. Ginger is also very warming. So it can be good for arthritis. It can be good for a lot of things. Someone that on an Ayurvedic side, if you look at Ayurvedic medicine, someone who has too much pitta, too much heat in their body, ginger might be a little too warming for them. And so we want to just make sure, I always say, make sure the intervention matches the person. And anything that's kind of wholesale, like everyone should be doing this, not usually. I was at a workshop a couple weeks ago and I'm like, I'm in agreement that everyone should eat. Like I can settle on that agreement. Everyone should be eating. Other than that, we're going to probably deviate on what we agree on, because everyone's different. Everyone has different genetics. Everyone has different body types. Different conditions they're coming to the table with. So, yeah. But in general, yes, having a little bit of raw ginger in your a little bit of raw ginger in your tea or in your water first thing in the morning could be a good thing to help improve digestion and just get things moving. So, anything else you wanted to add, Rachel?
No, I think that's great.
Great. Well, thank you all for joining us today. We are going to get this up on YouTube, and we will and anybody that's interested in learning more about our practice, you can go to sageintegrativehealth.com. You are welcome to schedule a 15-minute free phone consultation with any of our team to learn more about how we work, the pricing, the goal, set your goals, and the timelines and all of that good stuff. So please feel free to reach out if you have any questions at sageintegrativehealth.com. We are here to help you and serve you. So thank you all again for a wonderful chat. Rachel, thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy the lovely weather out there, and we'll all see you soon. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.